is the 77 WABC minicast.
Welcome, everybody, on this Sunday morning. So, President Trump now threatening to send federal immigration agents, they're known as ICE, to U.S. airports unless Democrats immediately agree to fund the Department of Homeland Security. Trump says he plans to move ICE agents into airports as soon as tomorrow, telling them in all caps, get ready. Wow. This is big news, and it's smart because ICE agents are going to get paid through 2029 thanks to previous funding that was already approved through the big, beautiful bill. So if TSA workers aren't going to get paid because Democrats think this is some sort of political win for them, and they're increasingly losing this argument, clearly, when you shut down the government twice in a span of 3 months and talk about how you want to save democracy and how you're fighting back against Trump. Meanwhile, TSA workers more and more are resigning now at this point because they can't feed their families. If they're not going to get paid, why work, which is a completely thankless job? Well, if you can't put gas in the car and you can't feed your families and you can't support those that you love, then yeah, you're going to leave. So Trump is saying, okay, and nothing to do with the TSA workers, obviously. It's very, very clear why they would have to leave and why they would be completely frustrated and utterly angry at this point. Well, in terms of national security, in terms of our airports protecting you, then we'll put ICE in there instead. And that's just the way this is going to go. And Democrats are probably not happy about this at all. This is cut number 19. Go.
Posting this on Truth Social, quote, if the radical left Democrats don't immediately sign an agreement to let our country, in particular our airports, be free and safe again, I will move our brilliant and patriotic ICE agents to the airports where they will do security like no one has ever seen before, including the immediate arrest of all illegal immigrants who have come into our country, with heavy emphasis on those from Somalia who have totally destroyed, with the approval of a corrupt governor, attorney general, and Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, the once great state of Minnesota. I look forward to seeing ICE in action at our airports. Make America great again. And that comes.
And that's Kayleigh McEnany on Saturday in America on Fox News, first announcing what Trump's plan is. And there is absolutely nothing that Democrats can do to stop this. None. And they look horrible in the process because Trump's saying, I'm here to protect you. I'm here to make sure that our airports are safe, that passengers are safe, that airlines aren't blown up during a time when we're at war. Obviously, there could be sleeper cells here that may try to exploit this moment when so many TSA workers are either exhausted or just simply have to find another job. So Democrats can continue to try to play this game, but they are losing the PR battle on this. That is certainly for sure. Meanwhile, Elon Musk has a couple bucks, right? He's only the richest man in the world. It always goes back and forth between Bezos and him. But let's put him in the top two just to be safe. Well, yeah, when you got a couple of $100 billion laying around, if you want to jump into this particular discussion with action, well, Elon is about to do it. He is saying that he will pay the salaries of TSA workers just to get through this. And again, this backs Democrats into a corner completely and totally. They thought that little fight between Elon and Trump a couple months ago was going to be the end of MAGA. It's a civil war. Musk is going to start his own political party. Well, this is where we are now. Cut number 8. Go.
We got here like at 9 o'clock and it just snakes around and nobody's making progress. And even people in TSA pre-check are waiting in line.
I have clear and pre-check, and this is the line I'm in because nothing is open.
We're worried now our flight's pretty soon.
But just moments ago, Elon Musk throwing a possible lifeline, posting on X with an offer to pay the salaries of TSA personnel during the crisis. No word yet on whether there are any takers.
Griff Jenkins, Fox News. I think there'll be a lot of takers on this one if it is real, and I believe it is. I think Musk says when he wants to do something, he does it. I'm going to buy X. I'm going to pay an astronomical amount of money to buy Twitter. It was Twitter at the time. Now it's X. And he did it when many people thought, well, you're going to lose a lot of money. He just didn't care because he was a person who wanted to save that particular platform, which is so important in terms of our discourse here in this country. And he probably is losing money on it still to this day and just doesn't seem to care because, again, you're at the FU stage of your life when you have something like you're worth $450 billion. Yeah, you can afford to make some investments on a personal level where if you lose a couple of billion, does it really matter? So, yeah, if he wants to pay TSA salaries, again, where is Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, J.B. Pritzker, right? All these multimillionaires on the Democratic side, I'm sure they'll step up too and help TSA workers if the government can't be reopened, right? Never, ever, ever going to happen. So things are turning quickly here as far as this discussion is concerned, because again, Democrats do not look like the party that cares about you. And Republicans, whether it's Trump making these moves with ICE, supplementing or at least complimenting TSA, and then obviously Musk, who basically is Trump in terms of being an ally and taking his own money to help pay salaries. This is a PR war that Democrats, they've been losing already. I think they absolutely are going to lose now. Meanwhile, J.B. Pritzker, I played this clip earlier this week, but in case you did not hear it and you're tuning in this Sunday morning, this is really, it's not disturbing because I'm not surprised by this, but Democrats, since they can't run on issues, therefore are running on, just like Tish James did when she ran for Attorney General of New York, where she said, I will prosecute and jail Donald Trump, even though there was no crime that he had committed, or there wasn't even an investigation, there wasn't an indictment, there wasn't anything. She promised to jail somebody who literally was totally and completely innocent, but she ran on this and won. So Pritzker is now saying that, well, if Democrats come into power in 2029, so that would mean winning back the White House, possibly taking the Senate and the House, there is this thing called Project 2029. And to, quote, restore the rule of law, unquote, scare quotes, that means he is promising elect us and we'll put Trump and his administration, his cabinet in jail for breaking the law. Now, again, has any law been broken? To Pritzker, the Jackie Gleason meets Fred Flintstone of Illinois, well, he can't define it right now, but they're going to run on this, and enough crazies will go for it. Not those in the middle that decide elections, however. But anyway, this is Cut 14. Go.
What does a Project 2029 agenda look like for you?
I don't think you can speak of it in shorthand, but I'll just say a couple of things that I think are absolutely necessary. One is we've got to restore the rule of law, and that means holding people accountable who've broken the law. I'm talking about in this administration, when we get a new one, the people in this administration who've broken the law and federal agents who've broken the law need to be held accountable.
And that means criminally prosecuted.
Criminally prosecuted, civilly prosecuted, whatever it is that we can do, right? It may be that you can't criminally prosecute somebody, but that you can go after them civilly.
This moron that is interviewing Pritzker could have, done even a freshman year in high school kind of version of journalism and ask, okay, have them prosecuted for what? Can you define that? Of course not. It's just, well, they're automatically guilty. So of course this is what we have to do. And we saw it in 2020 and 2024, especially in 2024, when they tried to take Trump off the ballot literally by putting him into jail. And he beat all of those cases. They're going to try it again until they succeed. These, as the president once told me, I interviewed him for my book, The Greatest Comeback Ever, Inside Trump's Big Beautiful Campaign. I said, you know what, when you have all this money and you've been president and you did all these things that have been transformative for this country, and you know this, the deck is stacked against you as far as voting, as far as a media that is hostile towards you and never giving you a fair shake for any accomplishments that you have, or having an honest discussion on the policies that you want to bring forward in a second term. Why would you run again when the deck is so stacked against you? And his first answer immediately was, because, Joe, these people are crazy, like he said during the State of the Union, well after that. And there's no other conclusion to come to. that when you're this fixed on one person, you just want to put him in jail so badly. It shows completely and totally, and I'm making a very obvious statement here, that they are losing the argument. Here's my colleague Greg Gutfeld on Fox News talking about why Democrats want revenge. And I think this crystallizes things completely. Listen to the whole cut. It really is awesome. Cut number 9, go.
The Dems are talking about revenge. For what? Was it for closing the border? We're getting rid of the fentanyl from our cities? Putting away killers and rapists, exposing waste, fraud, and abuse, destroying a foreign threat to our country, exposing the lie of trans athletes. If you're seeking revenge for that, what's it say about you? You know, if you're being honest, you only want revenge because you lost. And in that loss, people saw what they gained in having a new leader. If you look within our borders and beyond our borders, what Trump is doing now, and you have to admit this, is downstream from your own dereliction of your party. What brought us here? The Democrats embraced the luxury beliefs that selfishly elevated their own virtue, sanctuary cities, trans, identity politics primarily. Did nothing for the real problems of the world, did nothing about our foreign policy issues, did nothing about getting food on the table, did nothing about education. Americans figured that out, but so did the world. They were watching. I think the shock over Trump is his return to reality. We're back making moves in the practical world, and it has nothing to do with a singular person type identity. This is disorienting to people whose careers were based on the split world of identity politics, who have no idea what a national identity is, who have no idea what the melting pot is, have no idea what assimilation is. That's all he is doing, and it drives them crazy because they forgot that language. They can't speak that language anymore.
Anyone want to argue with that? That's exactly correct. And that is why Democrats are going to go down this road, and that's what they're going to run on in 2028, as far as whoever the presidential nominee is on that side. And it's scary, like who the options are. Gavin Newsom, AOC, Buttigieg, Pritzker. I mean, anybody else want to step up? Oh, that's right, Kamala Harris, the 2024 nominee. Democrats are so screwed. If it's JD or if it's Marco or if it's JD and Marco, which I think it will be, probably, maybe Marco and somebody else. Conversation for another time. We'll see. It's long out. If the Trump bet, as far as tariffs, comes through, and it already appears like it is, and the Strait of Hormuz is opened up and Iran is completely neutralized and Cuba falls and Venezuela is now the thriving society, country that it should be, then Democrats really have nothing to run on. Before we go to break, let's play one more clip, if you don't mind, Elias. Cut number 2. This is what Zohran Mamdani is getting in terms of press coverage from places like PBS. Instead of talking about how his wife has posted multiple social media clips and statements in the past disparaging in the worst way Jews and blacks, which should be a huge focus, because you know if Melania Trump ever did that, I don't care how young she is when she did it, like Mrs. Mamdani, this would be scrutinized till the cows come home. Think Brett Kavanaugh and them going through his high school yearbook to try to find something nefarious. Anyway, this is the type of treatment that the New York mayor is getting from PBS and other news outlets, and it is utterly and completely expected. This is cut number 2. Go.
But, Mr. Mayor, when they're coming after you, when they are showing your face on TV screens, calling you a jihadist, saying you're the enemy, do you worry about your own safety and security here?
I'm very lucky that I have an incredible team of NYPD officers who keep me safe each and every day. And my fear, frankly, is for those whose names we do not know, whose professions we do not know, who are seen and understood to be Muslim and will be attacked for it. And they will not have the protections that I do.
Oh, I'm so thankful to NYPD officers who are protecting me. The same guys, it's in writing, Zohran, that you called anti-queer and racist. You did. You posted on social media, on Twitter at the time, that, oh yeah, when a cop was crying in his car because one of his colleagues was killed, you celebrated that. And now you're so thankful for NYPD officers protecting you. And oh yeah, you're the victim here. Get your wife under control. And can the media ask one question about this? Because all week, the tough New York media didn't do a thing on this. When you know if this were a Republican mayor or governor, Casey DeSantis down in Florida, if they ever found some social media posts from her when she was a young adult. You're telling me that Ron DeSantis will get the free pass that Zohran Mamdani is? Oh, it's Rhetorical Sunday. Anyway, this is Joe Concha. This is the Joe Concha Tunnel to Towers Foundation Sunday morning show. Back with so much more in just a moment.